So they'll be calling you radicals. Here's the update. So I just got word from the number one Fukushima activist in the entire country of Japan. And you think I'm a fucking radical? Woo, fucking. She speaks very broken fucking English, but, we Skype, third, fourth party, because, and wow. I mean, I won't tell the third party who put it together. I says, fuck, half the time, I don't even have to know what she's saying. Woo, is she intense. So, first off, this disaster on the scientists are mystified, puzzled, baffled, stumped, perplexed, bewildered. The same old, same old. First off, I don't realize, I guess I take quantum leaps, how geographically illiterate people are. This peninsula is so fucking close to Fukushima, Japan. It's like, let's go to Florida from New York. It's that close. It's right there. So I'm like, well, she says, oh, it's all the fucking buzz here. I says, do you think what I think it is? You know what she said? She says, first, what do you think, Kevin? You're the guy. She says, you're the man. Always have been. I says, okay. I think that it's the cores are bursting through the fucking sidewalls. The China syndrome, as they call it. I call it Del Mar China. And it's coming up there. It's coming up out of the earth there. And I think they fucking did a massive flush of those tanks all simultaneously. It's one of the two. Or I think it's a combination of both. And you know what she told me? That's why you're the fucking man. That's what it is. I says, well, did they do a massive flush? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it is. So then we talked. I says, the black is the acidification of death. I mean, and I got to tell this story. This is an important story. So right after Fukushima this woman called me. She was living in Idaho at the time. Northern Idaho. And she says, I born and raised in southern Alaska. My father was the elder. She says, he smoked the peace pipe in 2010 at Bristol Bay in a group. And before I carry this on, the White Buffalo ceremony, they did that at Fukushima. They invited me, by the way. I was in the bone marrow transplant, dying of cancer at the time. She says, Kevin, he painted his dreams and he painted Bristol Bay black. He painted all the animals washed up dead black. The birds, the sea lion seals. And everybody says, oh, another Exxon Valdez. And he says, no. Nuclear. I says, wow. I says, can you get your hands on that painting? Wow. So that's what this is. And like I said, I take quantum leaps because it's been reported to Russia. And, so you do know Teddy Roosevelt won a real Nobel Prize for settling the war between Japan and Russia. That's right that's this peninsula. This is the area. This is the region they've been fighting over for fucking centuries. Still fighting over it, by the way. There's no coincidence that the entire Pacific Rim has collapsed. Now, one of the great Fukushima activists there ever was, believe it or not, he's been all over, is living in Tijuana. He just sent me a leak. There's some Mexican newspapers down there doing some really good work. It's a little late, but they're on it. So a bunch of sea lions washed up dead. That's one of the activists calling me right there. I mean, my phone's off the hook, and I'm very busy. And like I said, I'm not feeling well. I'll get by with a little help from my friends. We'll keep going. They're going to not take me out this fucking easily. I've been to the edge, and I stood and looked down. I lost a lot of friends there. I ain't got no time to fuck around. Oh boy, on Balco. That'd be Eddie Van Halen. The great guitar player, how about the songwriter? Talk about out front. He's been battling cancer for 10 years. He got cancer about the same time as I did. I always hoped that he would come forward, maybe write a Fukushima song or do a Fukushima riff. I mean, I don't blame him because he's been intensely, but what about the rest of those fuckheads? That's what it is. So, the Minister of Environment in Russia, which you think they're fucked up. Did you know anything about the US EPA under the Trump administration or under the Obama administration? They're identical fucking mass murdering twins. I mean, talk about terrorists. They've been in. This has been going on for, the last several days. Zarty. Now, this is important because Zarty has interviewed me multiple times, many, many times, and they're really Russian. And you know me, Fukushima, anti-nuclear. My interviews are always chopped, and I tell them, fuck you. The only interviews of mine that's up on RT are, the Million Mass March in D.C. when I'm talking about police brutality and government corruption. The voice in those, it's called the RT Uncut Chronicles. The voice that booms through all those videos is mine. Those fucking thieving rats, without my permission. But I give myself away. And I've told every one of you this. You feel free to use any of my content any way you want. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you do with it. You can make it bad, ugly, indifferent. At this point, does it really fucking matter what the trolls and the rats and the slanders and the fucking paid the nuclear, industry has done to me? And if you can't handle the fucking language, then you can't handle fucking the Fukushima subject matter anyway. Run along in your panty painter fucking comfortability. Because this is the heaviest subject matter on the face of the earth. This is our lives. And I want to say this because the military that went into Afghanistan, that went into Iraq, that are all dying now, went to Russia, the old fucking Russia, Uzbekistan. I understand that many of you didn't have any other option. This was your job. I get that. I got your fucking back. I'm not going off on you. I mean, I'm with you. I'm a cancer fucking victim. I'm dying. I've been dying, living from cancer for 9 years. We're a family. If you've lost somebody, why don't you fight back against these fuckers that did it? I don't understand that everybody stands down the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. Eddie said he got fucking cancer from sucking on that pick. Well, I'll leave that one alone. But the peninsula, the environmental minister goes in. They bring government divers from Moscow. It's a long ways. Do you know about the Road of Bones? Stalin's Road of Bones? You think that's a cliche? No, it's literally made of bones. Dead people. Fucking what? That region? Whoa, you want to pay a fucking price. By the way, it's on the Pacific Rim. It's not that, it's so close to Fukushima. So, I guess we'll change it. From China Syndrome, because I call it Del Mar Argentine Syndrome. The Russian Peninsula. Now, I don't say the name because I don't want to butcher. You ever tried to speak Russian? Russian? Excuse me. God, I'm starting to sound like Sarah Palin. You need to learn to speak American. America Vespucci spoke Italiano and Spanish. I did some really great videos. That is great. Influentially. My Russian, and I've been in Russia. Not that part of Russia. I wish. I'd always fucking desired to go there. Now, I don't know. Whoa. I don't say the name because I don't want to butcher it. That's what this is. So, Russia's environmental minister issued a statement on this. And the divers come out. This is new, out in the Moscow Times, reported it yesterday. Our divers, 95% of the entire seafloor is completely dead. That doesn't mean just the bottom feeders. That means everything. Everything's fallen to the bottom. That means everything's dead. Where do you think the wells fucking went? Or where do you think the fucking, summer? Salmon? Where do you think they go? The tuna? Where do you think they go? Stan Tuna. I heard that from some fucking dude, intense fucker on YouTube. This is what it is. The black is the acidification. That's what it does, the blob. It's when all life dies. Look, Fukushima took out the photoplankton. It took out the zooplankton. Big fish eat little fish, but this is an acute collapse. I says, this is, different. I mean, the other was a collapse, starvation event because big fish eat little fish, but all this. So everybody immediately jumped just like they did when he made the painting at Bristol Bay. This has to be petroleum. This has to be, of course, that was Obama's fucking gig and that annihilated the Gulf of Mexico. BP just let it go on. I see that Trump's lobbying for more Monsanto to be sprayed by these corporate welfare fucking terrorist farmers. He said we did an investigation on the old fuel storage dumps for these wars. Didn't leak any. Greenpeace reports that the petroleum levels are up 4 times. She says, oh, fucking please. She says, last fucking study I fucking read, 15 years ago, the petroleum studies in that region were up 15 times. They've been up that for since the war to end all wars, World War II. So, I says, well, what do you think of what I think? She says, that's why you're the man. That's it. I says, did they do a massive flush? They've been talking, the fishermen say don't do it. They've been doing it all the time. She says, oh, fuck, Kevin, you know they did. I says, how do we get proof? And she says, good luck. I says, how many workers do you estimate are fucking dead inside there? You know what she told me? Because I used the number 10,000 workers dead. She says, oh, fuck. She says, hundreds of thousands. You'll never know. They use the homeless. They use children. They use fucking, handicapped people. They use people that the mob owns. They owe the mob money. They find anybody. They use any kind of, a lot of these so-called Afghans, the U.S. fucking created this nightmare by bombing the fucking shit out of Afghanistan and created all this fucking people with no homes. Where are they supposed to live? Fucking sit and listen to the U.S. fly fucking drones over the top of you and kill you all fucking day? Fucking, no, they know in Okinawa. Believe me. That's what it is. The Russian Minister of Environment, he's in panic mode because this kills oligarchs too. Corrupt, but I called Fukushima the great equalizer in the early days. And it's killed plenty of fucking very rich people. That's Paul Allen. Whoa. You're talking some of the wealthiest people. Ask the head of the IAEA. Ask Abby. So I asked her. Abby, step down. This is a saga, the ministry information guy. They were supposed to call special election. Everybody thought they'd call special election. I says, how come they didn't? She says, the polls showed that he would just lose even in special election. Trump called special election before the U.S. They're going to wait till, the regular election. And the opposing party are anti-nukers. She says, they win, the little come off. I says, well, do you think the U.S. will allow that? And she says, well, come on, Kevin, you're the expert. And I says, well, riding with Biden and Trump, they're both Abby puppets. But Abby's going to die. He's on death's doorstep right now, waiting for his life. And by the way, I would not wish this death hell on anyone. In fact, I'm the opposite. I try to prevent it. And I have it. They wish it on themselves. Cancer karma's a motherfucker is all I gotta say. Trump and Obama gone along with this? This is a catastrophe. They come out Russia, when Russia says 95% of all sea life right there, when the divers come out, and that's just right there at the peninsula where they dove, is dead. All of it. And I says, well, the same thing happened when the so-called blob originated here and started hitting the other Pacific Rim here, California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, Alaska. I says, it had a yellowish film to it because I saw it physically. And it was black. She says, that's it. I says, what about the cancer rates there? I see Rakakayiki survived. She says, for every one Rakakayiki, there are 1,000. Then she went off in her little town about how many children have died post-Fukushima. I says, they just go. She says, oh, please. Fuck. The only place that covers up fucking things harder than the United States is here in Japan. So that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's Fukushima. More proof. And just keep going in and out. This is scary. Scary fucking situation. And I'll stay on it. Stay tuned.